Become an effective social operator. It's a pretty common idea that people are emotional creatures. This is pretty straightforward when you think of it from an outside of your head perspective. We've only developed rational thinking a short time ago. Most animals can be trained according to operant conditioning. Reward positive behavior, punish negative behavior. We train each other this way all the time. People do this to each other in relationships, unconsciously, and not only to each other, to themselves. They both learn, ideally independently and on their own, what makes their partner smile. This can create a relationship that becomes closer and closer over time. This is kind of an old school idea because modern relationships are pretty much a train wreck, but this explains why old dudes die very soon after their life partners die. Humans are driven not only by emotions, but ideal relationships grow and become closer through a kind of emergent, overlapping collection of positive emotions. This, of course, is driven by our instincts. We had to have a strong glue between man and woman to keep them together long enough to make sure the kid turned out okay. Even though modern relationships are a dumpster fire train wreck, they are still driven by emotions. It's very hard to maintain a diet based on what you should eat. It's very hard to only date guys and girls based on who you should date. We tend to buy things based on how they make us feel. Even big ticket items like houses and cars are based on emotions. Paradoxically, we do have logical circuits in our brains, but the inputs to these logical circuits are purely emotional. You look over at the Las Vegas all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet after a night of partying. You get a certain signal strength from each food choice: sausage, bacon, boiled broccoli, etc. Whichever gives you the strongest signal strength is the obvious choice. When considering two different houses, the one that gives you the strongest total emotional signal strength will be the one you buy. One of the critical mistakes you can make in game theory is making a wrong assumption about the intention of your opponent. This is the root of all labels of irrational we give to others. We assume their intentions and thinking processes are the same as ours. We see them doing something we don't understand and label it as irrational. This is why human behavior can be extremely difficult to understand through our logical brains. But from an emotional standpoint, it's very easy to see, very easy to understand, predict, and even manage. It requires you let go of your rational mind and interact from a much deeper, much more emotional standpoint. This will make life much easier and much more enjoyable. To learn how, visit mindpersuasion.com/3x3.